Hi guys, welcome back to Baking Fiat. My name is Maya Roberts and today we're making a devil's food cake. We're going to be making it with we're going to have a raspberry curd filling. I'm also going to layer it with a spiced raspberry simple syrup, so that way it's got nice flavor. And we're going to wrap it in a traditional buttercream. So let's get going. Let's just note that it's an American traditional buttercream. So at the beginning, I made 1 cup of coffee and I mixed it with 50 grams of baking cocoa powder. I mixed it together and I set it aside. So in our stand mixing bowl, we're gonna sift in 2.5 grams of baking powder and 2.5 grams of baking soda. It's a teaspoon of each. Next, we're gonna add in 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. It's 160 grams. So let's put in 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. It's 111 grams. Next, we're sifting in 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. It's 230 grams. So let's turn on our stand mixer. We're just going until it's combined. Okay, so I'm adding in 2 whole eggs and 2 teaspoons or 10 grams of vanilla extract. So now we're pouring in that coffee cocoa powder mixture that we reserved. So coffee and chocolate really pair nicely together because the coffee really brings out the richness in the chocolate. So let's mix it. Okay, so I'm adding in a tablespoon or 14 grams of vegetable oil. And now I'm adding in 1 stick or 113 grams of melted butter. I'm using unsalted. So because I'm using unsalted, I'm also going to be adding in 1/4 teaspoon of just regular salt. Okay, now that's all combined, we're just going to take it out. So I'm spraying my pans with some nonstick spray and then I'm lining them with some parchment. I should have cut mine a lot smaller for my circles, but what can you do? So I'm just weighing my batter. Okay, so I have 933, so I'm just dividing it in half. Okay, so let's just give it a good tap. Our oven's at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're just putting it in for 25 minutes, 25 to 30, but mine came out at 25. They were ready when I put a toothpick in the center of both and they pulled out cleanly. So we're gonna put the pans on a cooling rack for about 5 to 10 minutes before we take them out. So let's take them out and they're gonna cool fully on the baking racks. They're pretty thin, so you could maybe make a 2-layer cake and just bake it all in one tin and just cut it in half. So I have 130 grams of frozen raspberries. You can use fresh, I just have frozen in the freezer. I'm gonna be adding in 1/2 cup of white sugar and 1/2 cup of water and a pinch of nutmeg. Okay, I'm also going to add 1 gram of saffron. I'm thinking to get all the flavors out, I'll just strain the simple syrup tomorrow. Honestly, this smells so good. Okay, so now that our spiced simple syrup has reached a boil, I'm just going to be pulling it off the heat. You can either strain it now or you can strain it when you're going to be using it. I'm going to be straining it tomorrow for our recipe. It looks so good. Okay, in the medium-sized pot, I put a pinch of salt, a tablespoon of lemon juice, 1/2 cup of sugar. So I'm using 10 ounces of frozen raspberries. I'm letting them defrost or come to room temperature. It's easier to strain them. I'm trying to extract the juice. Once I've done this initial process, I started microwaving it for 10-second intervals and trying to get it mushy to get all the juice. What you can do with the leftover seeds, I put the rest of them in my simple syrup. You know, why not? After this recipe, I boiled them with some water just to make like a nice raspberry drink, get all the juices out. Why not? Okay, so our stove is on medium-low. We're just waiting for our sugar to dissolve and for our pot to start steaming. So we have 6 egg yolks and we have 113 grams of butter, unsalted. We're pouring it back into the pot. Okay, so we're gonna have our pot on low and we're gonna whisk constantly, okay? So because raspberries have pectin in it, we're using less butter and less egg yolks. So you would increase them if you're just taking out the raspberry and making like even a lemon curd, which is also delicious, but I recommend more for like a vanilla cake. Okay, so now that our whisk leaves marks in our curd, let's whisk in our 113 grams of unsalted butter. It's time to pull it out. We're pouring it into a clean bowl. It's delicious. Isn't that just the most beautiful color ever? Oh my goodness. We're going to saran wrap it tightly and put the curd and our simple syrup in the fridge overnight or till it's cold. Okay guys, so it's day 2. You can make this all in one go if you want. I just have to work with the daylight and stuff. So today we're going to be decorating. We're also making our butter. We're whipping up 1 cup of unsalted soft butter. So we have it on high speed. We're doing this for 3 minutes and we're scraping down every minute. We're doing this to aerate this butter. So let's now add a cap full of vanilla extract. It's about a teaspoon. So I have 3 cups of sifted icing sugar measured out. I'm using a 3/4 cup scoop to scoop at a time. I did not use all of it. I used about 2.5 cups. So we whip it up slowly at first so you don't get hit with the powdered sugar, and then increase the speed. So this is an American buttercream. With Swiss, Italian, and French, they use eggs and real sugar, not real sugar, granulated sugar to make like simple syrups and stuff. In all different ways, instead of using powdered sugar. This is very American. It's also very sweet. So while this is whipping up for the next 10-ish minutes, we're gonna go continue with the cake. If you haven't strained the simple syrup yet, it's time. Let's go cut the cake. So let's gently cut them in half as even as possible. Let's take our simple syrup and brush it on to the cake. I recommend using a pastry brush. You can decorate it using a turntable. I'm using a plate because it cuts down the transferring. So let's take our raspberry curd and we're going to spread 1/3 of it on as even as possible. Honestly, what a pretty color. It smells good, it tastes good. You could put it on scones. You could put it on ice cream. We're going to take our second layer, get it on as even as possible, and then just repeat. Okay, so it's kind of ugly, so we're going to keep doing our best, you know. I'll let you in on a little secret. It's been probably 2 years since I made or decorated a cake. I'm a little rusty, so just forgive me. Masking just evens out the layers and fills in any gaps before we start with our icing on the outside. Let's get masking. So here's our beautifully aerated buttercream. Masking is just the initial layer, and then we refrigerate it. Think of masking as your makeup foundation. It's the first layer. So I'm starting with the top, and I'm spreading it as even as possible, and then spreading it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just the first layer. It's nice with the raspberry filling and stuff, it's turning like a nice pink. So those naked cakes that you see, they're very popular. All it is a cake that's masked and then served. It's kind of ugly. I don't really understand naked cakes. Like, if you like it, all power to you. Just not my raspberry jam. Let's go into the fridge. Okay, while that's in the fridge, I'm going to take some of this icing, put it in a bowl. I'm going to take some of this raspberry syrup because I'm kind of curious if I can color it with it. Oh yeah, man. All natural food coloring. Ah, oh, it's such a pretty color. Okay, so what are you going to do with the rest of this raspberry simple syrup? What I've been doing is I've been putting in my mango juice, but you can put in any juice. You know, why not? This frosting tastes so good, especially with the raspberry. Okay, so I pulled it out of the fridge. We're just gonna get icing. So if you want to refrigerate it, it stays for about a week, but make sure you re-whip it. I heard you can freeze buttercream for a couple months. I've never tried it. You can also just eat it. Nobody needs to know. Okay, if I were like selling a cake or something, I would do it a whole lot better. I would also fill this in with icing. There's a little divot. It's just going in my stomach, so it really doesn't matter. If it's going to someone who's, you know, doesn't live with you or you want it for photos, just add more icing and just fill in the gap with the icing. It'll be fine. So I just start in half. I go to my 4 corners, and then if I'm going for 8, I'll just fill them in half. Okay, so you can leave it like this. You can write on it. I should have wrote like Happy Valentine's Day or, you know, love or something, but my best friend has requested that I make her a cake, so here it is. I'm not shipping it to you, but I did a video for you. Because I want to symbolize that there are raspberries for this, you can put them on. I'm gonna put them in between. What a beautiful cake. So I Skyped her while I cut it, so here's her reaction. Here you go. It's your cake. Yes! Okay, let's taste this. So we have all of our layers, we have our icing. It's very moist. The raspberry curd is delicious. I think everything's great. And with the spiced raspberry simple syrup, it's really very nice. So, can't wait till you guys try it. No, that wasn't so hard, was it? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell. Thank you for joining me on our little escapade for making devil's food cake with a raspberry curd and a spiced raspberry simple syrup. Bye, Baking Fiat out. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell. Bye.